Good morning, everyone. It is morning with Mo and Fry. And as per usual, Fry got up at 4 o'clock this morning. So he is back for his mid morning sleep, as he is often. My co host is living the dream. He's napping mid morning, as we all wish to do. And our first story today is while milkshakes me being all the boys to the yard. Apparently, the UN General Assembly brings all the hookers to the yard. I'm glad that we're solving the world's problems and bringing all of the call girls to New York because what would we do without them? The you know, Solving the world's problems, bringing all of the high-priced escorts into one centralized location once a year is always, making the best things go round and round. The world's oldest profession and the world's second oldest profession seems apropos, if you would. UN General Assembly brings, quote, hooker convention to NYC. Well, high priced escorts from Vegas and Europe. You know, while the New York Times may not be my favorite publication, I do enjoy their flair with words. Some of their authors or journalists or creative writers, whichever you may prefer to call them nowadays, they seem to have a flair with words. They're taking international relations to a whole new level. Diplomats in town for the UN General Assembly are meeting world leaders by day and high end ladies of the evening by night, or sources tell Page Six. We are shocked, not at all. My shock, I can hardly contain it. You're telling me that powerful business leaders around the world are being courted by escorts? I I f I feel misled. How dare you? This is news how? Um, and and the demand for illicit accords, high-priced escorts allegedly gather in the Big Apple from as far away as Las Vegas and Europe. Good morning, Christy Ree and Kim Farnham. I swear to goodness, I'm gonna get everyone's name right probably in 5 years from now. I really will. It'll be a miracle. It'll be one day, a Tuesday, it'll have rained. It'll be amazing. It'll be a beautiful day. Business goes up 20 to 25%. I really want to see the actual, do they also have to worry about taxes and Kelley Blue Book values? I mean, one of the Diamante source familiar with the, Smexy Time summits, quote, "Girls literally fly in from Vegas and Europe's. It's like a, Craigslist worker convention," if you know what I mean. Do they get little lanyards? I mean, this is sure. The insider added of the erotic aides and their international clients, they go to hotels because they can't go to residence or the embassies. I can't imagine, pointing out that the Lux ladies of the evenings make $3,000 to $5,000 per session. Checking with husband, see if he minds going to. I'm just kidding. Look. Sources said, quote, "Some diplomats go crazies because they're so repressed where they are, they don't have these girls." Well, I'm glad that they're doing important work there. I can't imagine that it's a big old m- Colombian marching powder and girl party. No, of course they're doing important work. hmm Conventional wisdom, so to speak, usually dictates that when demand for erotic AIDS goes up, so does attendance at local strip clubs. But other saucy sources explain that Diplos want to stay under the radar, so it's high end escorts that are busy. Politicians are terrified of anything like that being used against them, so they don't want to be seen in strip clubs. That's just their teens. The same source added, ag- "Who is this? Like the who is their coordinator?" Like, "Okay, Sally, today you're gonna go out with the Prince of Kenya, and, Jill, you have, this Russian diplomat, and, Janny, you and the twins are gonna go out with Philip here from this small it's called Mulvania." Now, listen, none of you actually aced geology or geography, so really, it doesn't matter where any of them are from, just, show them a good time. Like, who is their coordinator? Do we have a UN Smexy time coordinator? And if so, can we, American taxpayers stop paying UN dividends and just consider this our contribution? Because as an American taxpayer, I'm a whole lot just tired of paying for useless BS. So, I'm wondering if this can be considered our contribution, and I'm kinda done. They aren't going to risk Googling escort. The part of town they stay in is Midtown, and it's the hub of high-end, smexy time business. There are guys who work in bars in that part of town who are basically, coordinators who tend bar on the side. Well, everyone has a side gig. The source sniffed. If they want to have their fun in New York, it's not going to be a Sapphire, referring to the Jingle joint that's one of NYC's most popular, along with the Hustler Club. A different source says that Diplos who want to dip into strip clubs get private rooms. VIP rooms are booked and they can spend anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a night. Again, diplomats, I have a for-profit charity, it's called Mo's House, and if you don't want your country and or wives to get mad at you, I suggest donating to Mo's House. It's a heartwarming charity. It just basically means me getting more, nerd stuff that my husband won't let me get, point blank, because I don't need any more nerd stuff right now. Uh, and you look around and it's not the usual crowd of regulars. So there you go, humanity hard at work solving humanity's problems? Not really. Uh, Heartwarming story of the day. In sort of back to my awkward teen years, but, and into my awkward middle-aged years, and it's sort of a sad moment, but, I used to listen to the Bob and Tom show all the time on my way into high school. I would get, my gas. I would go to Burger King, get their little hash browns, my side cup of ranch because I am from the Midwest and we have to have ranch on everything. Um, y'all know. And I would listen to our answer to everything Howard Stern, but better, the Bob and Tom show. And I used to love this particular character. I never really but he was, Donnie, he was, Donnie Baker, so kind of their, uh, hillbilly guy from the outside, Floyd the trucker, a lot of spot on, sort of celebrity impersonators. "Hey, Sal," and, sort of fangirl moment of the morning, but Bob and Tom also liked my Mo in the Morning kind of tweet or X or whatever the heck you call it anymore, where I put this up as one of the stories I was going to cover. But I used to listen to it religiously every morning as I was going into school and then when my older girls were really little until they started repeating some of the words and then I was like, "Oh, okay." while it is appropriate for teen me, little ears, big mouths, not so great. But the cause of death was revealed for Ron Sexton, a longtime member of the Bob and Tom Show comedic radio station or radio program. And I will say I love the Bob and Tom Show. I haven't listened to it in a while, not because I stopped liking it, but just because, yeah, saying an X sounds like a prawn. It really does. You are correct, Bobby. It does sound like a prawn if I said I did an X, or it sounds like a toot or a not good. Yeah, I really do need my own Sailor Moon Emporium. So, diplomats, if you don't want to get your wife and or country in trouble with you, you could take all that money. Are you eating a Friberto? This is supposed to be a semi-professional news-ish organization, not a eat odor eaters thing for some reason. I also like the Zoom pants or Zoomer pants. I don't remember what they were, but you knew every dad you knew had a pair of these pants. They were as horrible as they look on screen. I imagine they were very comfortable, but they were as terrifying to look at as you do see on stream. Let's see, Harrison, Ohio, WXIN, an Ohio coroner has released the cause of death for 52-year-old Ron Sexton. According to a statement from the Hamilton County Coroner's Office, Sexton, known as Donnie Baker on the Bob and Tom Show, died at a hotel in Harrison on July 21 from combined toxic effects of fentanyl and ethanol. And it's really sad. I know a lot of comedians really struggle with addiction, and I wish they wouldn't. I wish that, I think part of being able to see the world in a really funny and unique way means that sometimes you you struggle a lot with maybe Sailor Mo. I know, it's a whole new channel. We're gonna have all the things. Means that maybe you see the world from outside and the norm, or you feel like you see the world from outside the norm, and that's why you have such a unique voice and a unique way to see things that it's kind of hard. I do appreciate you, Sal. And it's I think it's easy to kind of see people and really funny people as the way they present themselves and not how the kind of quieter side. And a lot of really funny people, a lot of really openly gregarious, people maybe don't, uh, hide a lot of their struggles really easily. Friberto, I swear to goodness, where did I put I get the things set up so I can put you in frame, and then you screw up the shot. It's like working with a diva. Um, attempted murder oh, so Sexton's manner of death was reported as accidental after the investigation by the Hamilton Police and Hamilton County Coroner's Office, according to the statement. Sexton was known by millions of listeners for the comedic characters he played on air, including Donnie Baker, Kenny Tarmac, Floyd the Trucker, and his spot-on celebrity impersonations. The Indianapolis native and resident of Tampa, Florida, had been on tour with his stand-up comedy show in Ohio at the time of his death, the show said. His family released a statement after his passing saying, "He was Donnie Baker to most of you, but Ron and Dad to us. Please respect our privacy at this time and pray for our family." Instagram post may shed new light on the death of Okay, sorry, that's a different story. I know. I know, In December 2022, Sexton reportedly shot at by a man while in his vehicle. According to previous reports, Sexton was not hit by any of the bullets, and he was alone in the vehicle at the time. Charges were filed in relation to the incident, which included attempted murder, but were dismissed in late August after his death because there were no other reported witnesses at the incident. Um, so as someone who's lost someone to addiction, I really hope that his family finds comfort and healing, and, you know, grace at this time because it is such a hard thing to really have to go through, and it's something that never really leaves, and as someone who uses dark humor and sarcasm to deal with it, um, and maybe hasn't dealt with it as well as I should have, It's it's something that doesn't always go away, and there's always that some lingering questions and feelings. So, I extend all of my sympathy to them, and, for a high schooler who didn't feel like they really fit in and kind of thought high school sucked all the balls, Bob and Tom kinda made my mornings fun and kinda got me through a lot of, stupid high school, and I hated trigonometry, so I would eat my hash browns, dip them in all the ranch sauce, which, breakfast of champions, children, drink my full calorie Coke, and then Coca-Cola, not Mexican, marching powder or anything. And then I would go into school and feel, slightly better and realize that, hey, funny, awkward, weird people tend to grow up and they can you know, grow up and do silly things, do fun things. And there are people that grow up and use their awkwardness for fun. And here I am doing it. So if there are some awkward teens that are listening to me, you know, a, why are you listening to me? You should be in school. And B, high school, well, it generally doesn't get better, but everyone is awkward in high school. Everyone is awkward in high school. And you know what? Being awkward is a superpower. And just embrace it for the love of Cheetos. You know what? I'm darn near 40 and take no prisoners. Just be who you are. You're not going to be anyone else ever. Good morning, Gigi and Bobby Baloney. And Kim, I think I said hi to you, but I don't remember because I got all fangirly because the Bob and Tom show liked my tweet too, or my whatever the thing is. Elon, I swear to God, if you change it back to Twitter now, just because you've been um, messing with us, which, fair play to you. I do love an internet shitlord, but come on now, sir. It's been enough. In other news, alleged proof that Tom Cruise is fully enlightened and fully free of thetans and or a lizard people. Uh, Allegedly, Tom Cruise, stay the hell away from me. Your Unitooth bothers me. Again, I would like to prove the Unitooth theory. You will never unsee it now, but I will prove it to you. Look at this tooth. It goes directly midline of his face. Tell me I'm wrong now. You're welcome, America. You will never unsee it. I had to point it out to Mr. Mo. He can now not watch any movie without noticing it. And he's like, "Why did you have to do that to me?" And I was like, "Well, because I noticed it and now you have to notice it too." Tom Cruise Tom Cruise opens up about never sleeping after his Mission Impossible co-stars admit to seeing him quote unquote unconscious only twice in 17 years. Um, Look, I mean, if he is willing, I I know. I'm just saying they realized his people suit was off, allegedly. and, they fixed it. I'm not saying that his lizard overlords, underlords, took care of his, somewhat uncanny valley-ness, but I'm not saying it didn't happen allegedly. Look, don't come after me, Scientology. I have, like, $4.50. I will throw in Griffin, though. Just kidding. You'd send him back. Tom Cruise is basically a real life superhero. Okay, calm down, Cinema Blend. I think you need to chill out just a little bit at this point. The 61-year-old actor, still has his fastball, giving his all to filmmaking. Maybe she wants to date him and/or, uh, get cleared of all her thetans too. He is known for committing to making his movies as entertaining as possible by participating in incredibly dangerous on-screen stunts. I know. The problem is he might be the foretold one. The youngest, most feral Scientologist. He'd be like Kenny or Kyle in that one episode about Scientology. There goes my, all paid subscription to Scientology from Tom Cruise because I mentioned South Park. Nuts. Enlightenment gone. Like riding a motorcycle off a cliff in Mission Impossible 7. Okay, I'm gonna commit, meta or movie, uh, heresy here, but I have never seen the Mission Impossible movies after the first one. I thought the first one was incredibly boring, and I didn't watch the other 900 of them. I just Tom Cruise annoys me, so I didn't see it. After a decade in the business, the action star remains one of the most endearing? Question mark? Really? And it may be due to his lack of sleep. The risky business star recently was asked about his MI co-star rarely seeing him unconscious, and Cruise offered an apt response. On the red carpet for the Italian premiere of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, Cruise, uh Dead Reckoning Part 1. Cruise was asked about his famously questionable sleep schedule. Okay, you do realize that I think they did a sleep study, and if you go without sleep for 72 hours, I think, and then take this with like 18 pounds of salt because I only vaguely remember this, but I think if you go without sleep for 72 hours, you are clinically insane. Now, again, I could be very wrong. Um, and live mice. Yeah, seriously, Kaiser, we need to do a collab because I think, we definitely yeah, this lizard look, you know, don't show me weird mummy people from Peru, show me this dude, and I'd be much more apt to believe that aliens are among us. This guy, Ezra Miller, and, oh gosh, uh, Bijou from, the Icelandic singer, and I'm like, "You know what? You sold me." I I can totally see it. An interviewer from E! questioned the actor about resting, explaining that one of his co-star revealed that in 17 years that the Mission Impossible movies have been produced, that they had only seen Cruise unconscious twice. I don't okay, I don't understand the use of the word unconscious. Like, I can understand why not use the word sleeping? The use of the word unconscious is somewhat, I don't know, creepy. Yeah, it's the you I understand you wanna use, like, different or more fun words or more exciting words, but the word unconscious leads me to believe that someone got really irritated at him being an affected prick and just, you know, did a little friendly, MMA move and Joe Rogan'd him out in a sleeper hold to get him to go to sleep, and while I think that legitimately could have been possible, I it just sounds weird to me. I don't like, I could understand, like, I saw him napping. I would have never said, like, "Yeah, I saw him unconscious." She said, "One of your cast members told me yesterday that in the 17 years that they've worked with you, they've only seen you sleep twice, once on a plane to Japan and once in a zero gravity bed." Cruz was amused by his co-star's comments, but didn't deny the fact that he rarely gets shut-eye. In terms of if he ever sleeps, he answered, "You know what? I try not to." If he starts talking about, espresso enemas, I'm out. I'm out. I'm just out. Let's see. This is surprising because despite the immense lack of sleep, Cruz is still in incredible shape. Look, he's 5'2". Maybe short people just don't need that much sleep. I don't know. He's very passionate about his personal health and fitness, so he can still perform with intense. Uh, Jesus juice and Dimetapp? Look, I'm kind of fully on the Razor Fist force, so I'm I've kind of pardoned Michael Jackson, but let's see, maybe he's the only person that likes kale, and there is something very, very healthful in kale, but the rest of us are like, "Kale, no." Um, as for the as for why the action star seems to resist a traditional sleep schedule, he said, "I think I don't like sleep. I go unconscious. That's what happens. It's like I love that my day starts early and they go early. This is certainly a tough schedule to keep up with." Excuse me. With how involved Cruise's movies tend to be. Um, do we need to have, Mr. Cruise, test? Yeah, can yeah, so I'm just can confirm Tom Cruise is lizard person, allegedly. Uh, they often include high energy stunts, explosions, lots of running, something Edge of Tomorrow actor is known for. He must be operating at an incredibly high level of adrenaline to be able to function throughout the day with such little sleep. However, if one thing has been proven over the years is that it would be foolish to underestimate Tom Cruise or overestimate him at over 5 feet 2. Tom Cruise, don't come at me. I have $5.50, sir. As the actor has accomplished physical feats that some actors couldn't even dream of. Maybe Cruise doesn't sleep because he has so much work to do. Along with being the central action star of all his movies, he's also taken on producing duties in addition to his acting work. His dedication to all aspects of the creative process is well documented, and this hard work must dip into his sleep. I mean, we could go full salty cracker and say adrenochrome, but I mean, that seems to be a more easy a more easy answer. Yeah, it's just this sir, uh, do you are you doing the Lance Armstrong thing where you get, new healthy oxygenated blood or whatever it was that he was doing when he was sleeping with Sheryl Crow instead of his wife who stuck by him during testicular cancer after having his twins? You know? that sort of awesome thing. I mean, just asking for the general public. The hard work and this hard work must dip into his sleep. He has even said that the ending of Mission Impossible 7 kept him up at night, which seems to explain why he's not sleeping well. The Oscar nominee's future involvement with Mission Impossible franchise is unknown following the release of Mission Impossible 8. So maybe after that movie is finally wrapped up, the Jerry Maguire star will finally get some well-deserved rest, upside down and in a cave. No, I mean, I'm just guessing here. I mean, he did play a vampire. Maybe he went full on method actor and became one, allegedly. You can see Tom Cruise's restless performance in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is still currently playing in theaters nationwide. And wasn't that also the reason that Henry Cavill had to have a great stash and the genesis of that awful CGI in, the first, Justice League's, Superman? Come on. I this is ridiculous. Why in the world? Now paparazzi are just going to Yeah. No bueno. You know, as I was just talking about my teenage diet of, full on regular, fully leaded Coca-Cola, the large size, when you could still Super King it or whatever you could do at Burger King with a large, the little hash browns and ranch, because we're in the Midwest, damn it, while listening to Bob and Tom on my way into, high school. The Breakfast of Champions. It is, I can't throw stones. Uh, let's see, the actor or fans of the actor can also check out the previous Mission Impossible franchise. No, I'm gonna hard pass on that, but I will probably be rewatching, Disenchantment, for the 80th time because I just love whoever plays Lucy, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. I used to love in fact, I fangirled a little bit. I did a story about, Bob and Tom in the Morning. The guy who played, uh, let's see, Donnie Baker passed away in July, and they liked my tweet about This Morning, and I was doing a little bit of a fangirling. But in actually a fairly important story that I was maybe going to do a separate story, but then I decided to put it in Mornings with Mo because I wanted to get some eyeballs on it, and I might still do a separate story to get more eyeballs on it. I did, this was a Netflix documentary, and this is the oh, and welcome unbronzed, not unbroad, unbronzed Aussie Laura. Uh, This is a documentary I covered because Maya, the girl pictured in the wheelchair, has the condition I have. Now, I only have complex regional pain syndrome in my left leg. Maya seems to have it kind of affecting her entire body. But there is a Netflix documentary called Take Care of Maya that follows Maya's family and particularly, kind of her mother. Basically, Maya, um there are 2 types of complex regional pain syndrome, one that can be kind of preceded by a, um, accident, so you kind of have a starting point or a focus of when this happened, and then sometimes, and particularly in younger children, where it just happens out of the blue and a child will start having sort of a storm of, pain, unexplained a host of unexplained things that start happening that are just, mainly pain and loss of the ability to walk and all sorts of things that just kind of are a snowball and snowstorm of craziness. And this documentary follows this family going through this crazy, trip to multiple doctors. They go all around the state of Florida trying to figure out what's going on. They finally find one doctor who diagnoses Maya with complex regional pain syndrome, and he starts giving her ketamine. Now, yes, so this is the case, Take Care of Maya, it's actually, I believe, in Florida. Now, they actually make the decision to take her to, Mexico because one of the there's not a lot known about complex regional pain syndrome. It's sort of an orphan disease. There's not a lot of research. There is not a lot of understanding about what all of the processes that are affected by the nerves and different things, what all of the systems of the body that are triggered when you are dealing with, why are the muscles affected? Why are you not able to put pressure on your leg? Why is there a weakening of the musculature? Why are you when I do have an attack, my foot kind of contracts and I have spasms and basically if my foot were like this normally, my left leg, my foot kind of goes if this were the midline of my body, my foot kind of goes like this and I curve in. So Th basically, complex regional pain syndrome is the doctor's code for, "We have no idea what the hell is going on." That's kind of what it is. What they have shown to work is that in some cases, putting children or people into a ketamine coma seems to reset the body's whatever, and so that's what they did, and for Maya, that seems to work. Now that seems to have done, um, a great job for, her for a while. Now, people with nerve pain, people with, arthritis and things like that will tell you that weather patterns can affect it greatly. What happened to Maya is prior to a hurricane during a very low pressure event, Maya's pain came back really quick, and they had to take her into a hospital. Now, the hospital and most medical people are very unaware of what, complex regional pain syndrome is. So, they hear ketamine, they hear this particular mother who was a nurse, who was very pushy, very aggressive about her daughter's treatment, and they basically claim that she is being, abused with Munchausen's by proxy. They claim that Maya's making all of this pain up. They listen to they don't listen to her former doctor who, has diagnosed her with complex regional pain syndrome, but her lawyers find out that they are charging the family $30,000 for this, while they have barred the mother from seeing her. You guys, look, go watch the thing. You will be pissed off and horrified at the end of this. Basically, the mother takes her own life. At the end of it, the mother takes her own life. Uh, and you find out at the end of this, after telling the daughter that she's flipping crazy, the mother that she can't see her daughter, that she can't even talk to her daughter without a representative there, that they were charging the family. After all of this, the family gets a bill from the hospital. They were charging the family for care for complex regional pain syndrome for the daughter. So the family decides to sue. And after years of legal wrangling, at the end of the documentary, basically the judge had said, "No, we're not going to uh, let you guys continue this." So when I saw this come up on Law and Crime, it looks like they have finally allowed the family to continue this lawsuit. So let's continue after all of that rambling. A Florida family is facing off against a hospital in court saying staff callously dismissed a teenage girl's debilitating condition and falsely claimed the mother was making it up. According to a complaint from Pinellas County, the mother, Beta Kowalski, died by suicide because of the turmoil the hospital had created. State's authorities said her daughter had her daughter in custody at the hospital for more than 3 months. Quotes, defendants imprisoned Maya at John Hopkins All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg with no legal justification, the lawsuit said. Beta's widower, Jack Kowalski, filed a lawsuit. The complainant said their daughter, Maya Kowalski, showed signs of a debilitating condition called complex regional pain syndrome since 2015 when she was 9. This condition in this condition, the body misrepresents even light touches as excruciating pain, resulting in symptoms such as stiffness, spasms, and limited mobility. The complainant used words like burning, bone crushing, shooting, and stabbing to describe the sensation. Eventually, specialists recommended Maya take ketamine as a treatment. Now, again, ketamine, my doctor right now doesn't particularly believe in ketamine. I go to a doctor in the San Francisco of Indiana, but I found the only Puritan in the San Francisco of Indiana. And now it's not like you go to a rave. You would do an infusion, and it you would go every 3 to 4 months, you would do an infusion. It's not like you're given a pack of whatever for it. Again, it's not certain things, but the sad fact is that, and what I find difficult is that you are either roped into a life, if you have chronic pain, of being stuck with opiates and kind of just thrown those, or if you would like to try a more natural approach, if you catch my drift, then you are demonized and robbed of some of your other rights if you are, if you want to do that, and by the more conservative people that you would think would just want you to live your life and not be, a slave to big pharma. I never thought I would be on the Joe Rogan side of things, but I have become a Joe Roganite, which is weird. Um, Eventually, specialists recommend that Maya take ketamine as a treatment. Ketamine is clinically accepted form of treatment that blocks pain receptor and allows the body to revise the sensation process, the complaint said. It was successful, though she would continue to experience flare-ups of her symptoms. So again, it's there to kind of reset. You still have flare-ups, in theory, from what I've heard from people who have tried the ketamine treatments. It's, basically you're never gonna go back to what you had prior to getting this if you do get it, but it does help with, kind of getting back to 70 to 80% of what you have. According to the complaint, it was after one such flare-up in October 2016 that her parents took her to Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. The lawsuit claims that staff dismissed the parents' instruction and even expertise from Maya's specialist on how to treat her. And even though the staff lacked clinical or academic experience with CRPS, staff also failed to do their treatments with her physical pain in mind, according to the complaint. During the course of their examination, certain JHACH personnel also indicated they wanted Maya to undergo medical procedures necessitating physical contact with the patient that would be painful for a CRPS patient, such as applying blood pressure cuff, undergoing scans. While seemingly benign and innocuous to physicians unfamiliar with CRPS, such contact can often cause flare ups of a condition. So, I have in my purse, I have a laminated copy of and my medical bracelet that I usually just have my bracelet on because 'cause I'm still dealing with the fact that I have a chronic condition because 'cause I'm not good with change. But, basically, I have been told to try to avoid getting any needles or any sort of, aggravating things on the left side of my body just because that can cause a flare up, so I try to get all readings on my right side. Uh, m my left leg seems to be the only thing affected, but, um, you know, CRPS has been known to move up to affect the entire body, and so they will tell you to be careful of having needles, on particularly bad days, even a light breeze. Mr. Mo, I have had to call him to say like, "Hey, shut the window, take this," Uh, I I have not. I mean, I am willing to go to Oregon. I have n So I will be very honest with you that, from August to probably March, I have been in deep denial that I even have this diagnosis. So it's not until just recently that I've sort of switched around and started being much more positive and proactive about what I can do versus, so I've started doing, more research, and I will have to look into that, but I have not actually looked into that. Um, so there's not a lotta known about it, but yeah, every morning I do desensitization stuff, so things like shaving my legs. Sometimes just having the shower run on my leg can be very painful. I was joking about it's not a joke, wearing my UGG boots, last week was incredibly difficult. I haven't worn shoes, other than uh, my Birkenstocks, so having to wear boots again because I live in the Midwest and you have to wear shoes, um, it's it's very hard. Again, from my foot to my knee, I feel constantly like I have 1st to 2nd degree frostbite. From my knee to my hip, I feel like I have sunburn accompanying with, lightning strikes. It's the mind screwiest of mind screws. Uh, and then that accompanying on very, very bad days with, full-on body spasms and contractures where I get the weird kind of foot turning in. So it's all the fun stuff, but she has this with her entire body. So when I say that rubbing a towel on your leg can feel like someone is rubbing sandpaper open over an open wound, that's what it can feel like. So the fact that they were putting pressure cuffs and touching her after they were already told, I just want to sucker punch each of them in the tit. I really do. Allegedly. Allegedly in Minecraft, Pac-Man, and Centipede, just so we're safe. Let's see. Maya's parents informed JHAC that Maya's CRPS required certain precautions in performing these tests and examinations to reduce the amount of discomfort and pain for their daughter. The complainant accused staff of becoming offended and defensive by the parents' suggestions on how to treat Maya. The situation allegedly escalated to a hospital social worker reporting Beta Kowalski to the Florida Department of Children and Families. When DCFS investigator quickly took Beta aside, hospital staff refused to let Maya even go uh, through the parents, or even to let Maya go, even though the parents wanted her transferred, the complainant said. The staff allegedly reached out again to DCF and made false allegations against Beta. A, mom has suspected mental issues. B, mom was requesting Maya be placed into a coma using pain medications, which again is how you reset the pain response. I know it sounds kooky, but that's how you have to do this with um this particular disease. And because most people in the medical field don't have this is a rare disease, don't see this. I mean, it can sound like you have no idea what you're talking about, this is kooky, but the fact that they had a medical expert in town and they were not listening is just ridiculous. Mom got angry at Maya when she woke up and said she felt good and hungry. D, mom refused Maya a donut when she got hungry. E, mom was giving Maya unauthorized IV medications at home. F, mom is believed to have mental issues. And G, Maya is not actually in pain. Overcome with grief and shock, Beta fainted in the courtroom upon learning they would take her daughter, the lawsuit stated. Losing Maya for months upended the family's life. From the complaint, Jack and Beta struggled to explain the capricious actions of the defendant and provide their son Kyle with a sense of normalcy that allowed him to visit and support his beloved sister. They struggled to reconcile the abuse of the corporate and state power that was tearing apart their family after previous year and a half of exhausted, financial straining medical care for Maya. In doing so, they petitioned the court and sought review of the sheltering order on numerous occasions and at each insistence continued to face Dr. Smith, JHACH's, and its attorneys' unrelenting and knowingly false accusations and misrepresentations. Thank you guys. I mean, I will say that I am very lucky that I have a supportive family and I have all of you guys. This having this channel, having you guys and this stuff has really made a giant difference. And it's getting out of myself, having something that's kind of just for me. And this is going to sound a little, I love being a mom, I love being a wife, but having something just for Mo that isn't about my leg or anything else is awesome because having something that I can focus on a bad day is really good. And it's been so positive um and so great. And having places where I don't have to be brave and I can just say, look, this is such a struggle and it sucks all the donkey balls. And And that's awesome. I love having you guys are so awesome and, being able to say, "Hey, I have to get a dog stroller right now because I am not okay with getting a walker," and then having everyone say, "Hey, that's okay. Fry'll love a dog stroller because he's the world's laziest puppy." Let's see. The resulting prolonged separation uh, from their suffering daughter manifested in Beata's depression, fatigue, and overwhelming sense of hopelessness. Now, here's where I want to stop. The last straw, and you'll see this if you watch the documentary, is when Beata asked if she could hug her daughter at one of these very, oh, well, I'm glad. Uh, the very last uh, session that they went to, the hearing that they went to, where they're trying to paint this mom as a horrible monster, she asked if she could just hug her daughter because she hadn't been able to even hug her daughter in 3 months. And the judge said, "At this time, it isn't safe for you to hug your daughter." And at that night, she went home and she wasn't alive anymore at the end of that night. Um Beata voiced this depression and fatigue to JHAC and Dr. Smith, which Any reasonably trained physician indicated the possibility of suicide or other self-harm. Despite specific and documented warning signs, JHACH and Dr. Smith continued a campaign of degradation and threats toward the Kowalskis and specifically Beata. Beata died of suicide on January 7th, 2017. 6 days later, the state finally let Jack take care of Maya again. Um, A court-appointed psychologist testified that Maya's condition was legitimate and her parents were following advice of specialists, according to the complainant. The lawsuit is the subject of the Netflix documentary Take Care of Maya. So the hospital has been fighting this tooth and nail, but the fact that the hospital, uh, who when they have said that, this has been a bogus thing, that the mom has been. So you go through this entire thing where they're saying the mom has Munchausen's, this is, a made up diagnosis, all of this other stuff. And then to find out that they have been charging this family, all of these bills under the code of complex regional pain syndrome after they're telling this little girl that, she's faking it. Now, the problem with complex regional pain syndrome is that you do have good days. I mean, it's kind of like fibromyalgia, it's kind of like these other things, you have flare-ups. So, there are days where I can my base level might be a 4 on the pain scale every day, and you can work through a 4. It's there, you kinda notice it, but you can work through it. It's those days where I'm at a 9 and a 10 when you really notice it. So but I am glad that they're finally getting their day on the court in court because the documentary ends on a kind of, like, pissing off pissing you off note where they're kind of stymied. So, at least they have gotten their day in court now because the state had kind of the judge using all the lawyerly, y'all know I'm only pre-law. They had used all of their lawyerly stuff to kind of say, "Well, right now, I don't something or other legal reasons," and the family was just devastated because, they've lost their time with their daughter. The mom has been painted as a monster. They lost their mom. The man's lost his wife. And now they've lost their case, but it looks like they will finally have their day in court, and I hope. Okay, allegedly, you're not allowed to punch every single one of them in the tit, but if I were the judge, I would have creative judgeship, and that shit hurts. So, you know, allegedly in Minecraft, I would be okay with creative punishments. This is why I don't run for county, attorney. And lastly, before we go to the Gareth Pursehouse case, apparently there is a new attraction at the Dallas Fort Worth airport. A video shows a naked man proudly strolling through Dallas Fort Worth airport. Look, no shirt, no shoes, no pants, no problem. Apparently, uh, look, if Congress can do it, apparently you can do it in Dallas, Fort Worth. Some travelers just need the bare essentials. No shame in his game, you know? A naked man was detained on Monday after air travelers spotted him proudly sauntering through the Dallas. Well, he remembered his phone. That's always good. Uh, Spotted him proudly sauntering through Dallas Fort Worth International. Although I would wear shoes, like at least flip flops. Ew, those floors are so gross. Eye-popping videos show a man without any baggage or is in sight or a stitch of clothing slowly walking past TGI Fridays around 10:15 p.m. inside Airport Terminal C, which exclusively flies out of American Airlines. Well, he passed security. That TSA search was quick. An astonished passerby did a double take after walking past the unabashed man who didn't pay any attention or any mind to the deranged stares aimed his direction. "There's a naked guy in the airport," another man filming the strange encounter can be heard saying as someone nearby begs him not to record the stranger. The nude man immediately swings his head to the camera and ports his finger and begins to nod his head. "Yes, there is," the videographer cheers, offering a pointed finger back. "My man." Is this the episode where Bender Bending Rodriguez becomes a human? Are we in that timeline? The naked traveler continues nodding his head with a smile on his face as he continues walking down the populated hallway. Was soon apprehended by the DFW Airport Department of Public Safety and taken in for a mental health evaluation. I don't know, he seems pretty comfy. The spokesperson for the airline said, "The airline would not say whether the man was charged or what circumstances led to the bizarre." Can we all just guess alcohol and possible, uh, street pharmaceuticals? I mean, I'm throwing out possibilities here, but, you know, unlicensed street pharmaceuticals and booze. Uh, any hoozle. Fry needs to go out, and I need to let him out before we go to the Gareth Pursehouse case. And then, guys, don't forget, we are Nicholas Starro, Trial Watch, and I will be going over the Delphi memo today. And remember, guys, we will be going over the crime scene today. And there is absolutely no shame. If you want to be part of the replay crew today, and you don't want to watch live, we will be going over, again, the crime scene. It's gonna be tough. I'm not gonna lie. So if you guys don't think you can do it live, I will be in no way upset if you want to, watch it with the replay crew and take your time, take breaks. It's gonna be a rough one. That's why I didn't do an 8 PM, solo thing. And, you know, it's gonna be a rough one, so if you have to take breaks, if you have to watch it on the replay crew, I totally, totally get it. It's a rough case. I totally get it. I will see you guys in a little bit for the Gareth Pursehouse case, and I may have a clip. I may have a Gareth clip that I would like to share with you. I may have figured something out. We will see. I will see you guys in a little bit. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends if they need a little Mo in the morning, a little nude guy shout out. I'm gonna try to chop these up now and so you can share little stories with your friend throughout the day if I can figure these things out. I am always looking to be better. Bye, guys.